I once heard it said that legendary Sports Center ESPN broadcaster Linda Cohn did 5,000 sports centers. If that's truly the case, and I believe it is, John Knicely must have done 10,000 nightly newscast centers by now, possibly more like 20,000, John?
Can't count that high.
Can't count that. John, of course, is a legend of local television in Omaha. He served as sportscaster for WOWT from 1974 to 1981, whereupon he moved to St. Louis to serve in the same capacity for KTVI, the ABC affiliate there. He then returned to Omaha in May 1984 to work for KETV. After that, he finally made the move back to WOWT in May 1992, this time as news anchor for the 5, 6, and 10 p.m. casts. Since that time, John, of course, has become a favorite in the community through his I Challenge John, John at Work, and Nicely Done features. Over the years, John has given viewers a unique behind-the-scenes perspective through his reporter-involved segments, among the which were pieces on skydiving, working construction at First National Tower and West Dodge Expressway projects, joining TV tower repairmen at 1,200 feet above ground level, riding an Olympic bobsled, flying with the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels team, going on a daredevil stunt airplane ride, performing in a theater production of the Omaha Playhouse, and even serving as a middle school principal. John has received numerous awards, including the Journalism Alumni Award of Excellence from UNL, and he is actively involved in the community and MCs various charity events throughout the year. John was born in Sidney, Nebraska, and he's a graduate of UNL's School of Broadcast Journalism. John and his wife Sue raised 5 kids, and they have 13 grandchildren. Here to introduce John Nicely is one of those grandkids, his oldest grandson, Asher Anderson. Would you please welcome him?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Asher Anderson, and I'm the oldest of John Nicely's only daughter. I'm the oldest child of John Nicely's only daughter, and the first of his 13 grandchildren.
Woohoo!
At a very young age, I was something of a minor celebrity when my classmates learned that my grandpa was the John Nicely. Now, I'm sure having the #1 news guy as a grandpa was a pretty cool flex in elementary school. But today he means so much more to me. His nickname, J. Cool, perfectly captures the kind, laid-back person he is. To this day, I've only ever heard him yell once. I'm pretty sure only once. This was during a charity golf tournament when my, at the time, 5-year-old brother decided to take his putter and drive it into the green like he was chopping wood. So that was probably well-deserved. But the same passion and energy you saw him bring to the telecast for 50 years, he brings every day to the 2 things that matter most in life: his family and his faith. Golf being a very, very close third, but I left it out. The importance of spending time with your family is the most valuable thing I've learned from my papa. From showing up to endless sporting events, to hosting bonfires for me and my friends, to showing up every Christmas Eve to surprise us as Santa Claus. He's always shown us that what truly matters is spending time with those you love and making sure they know that they're loved. I've always felt fully supported and lifted by the Knicely family. This comes from a deep and authentic faith. My papa and my Mimi instilled this in their kids, and now their grandkids, a love rooted in faith. Papa, thank you for showing me what it means to live a true Christian life, not just with words, but with the consistent example of your faith in action. We couldn't be more blessed to have you as our grandpa.
Amen.
No one is more deserving in this honor, so without further ado, it is my honor to present John Nicely.
I'm upset the fact that he's taller than me now. I've known him since he was born. So I have some notes here. And you'll be interested to note, this is on the back of my checking account notice from First West Roads Bank. Could be trouble, I don't know what it is. Are you hearing me okay? It's good to see this side of the room. How are you all doing over there? Look at this Channel 6 table here. Channel 7. What did I say? I always like to see if they're paying attention. Thank you, Mike. Have a word about him later. Well, thanks to the Omaha Press Club for this honor, and gosh, the more you hear about the other inductees, the more you just appreciate it, and so that's the way I feel, and I'm very grateful for that. My wife Sue has been mentioned, and she's up there taking a picture, but I'm going to have her come down. Sue, come on down. Here we go. This is Susan Knicely, and I met her like 47 years ago, well, 48, and I was speaking at a breakfast, and Sue was the singer. And I thought, man, I wonder who that is. And so I found out, and here we are, and we've got a great family. Love you. Back to taking pictures. Well, I have quite an eclectic group here tonight, so I thought I'd just touch on them a little bit. Please don't stand. Don't even make a noise. Some of you. First of all, my son Spencer is with us, and he is over here. Spencer was we had a girl, 2 boys, and we thought, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to have another girl? We had twin boys. And that's one of them. His brother is in Baltimore. He's got 2 kids out there. And the Anderson table, my daughter Krista and her brood. And I tell you what, if you want to be entertained, go to their house, sit at their dinner table, and just listen. Yeah. Don't say a word. It is so entertaining. And you never know where it's going to go. But I love them dearly, and so blessed. Brian Master is here tonight, anchor at Channel 6, 10 o'clock anchor. Yeah. What you don't know is Brian has hired me as a consultant. And what he really wants to know is how to raise that one eyebrow at the right time. And he's making progress. Cassie, our news director at Channel 6, and she's here, Cassie. She was so great because on the last broadcast, for a month, she was putting together a way to get my whole family into the studio at the close of the newscast. And you pulled it off, and forever grateful for that. That was really special. Thank you. And I love working with you too, and for you. Okay, who else is here in our eclectic group? A guy that actually helped get through J School. We've got a lot of journalists here tonight, and you know, I don't think he ever thanked me for it, but sitting over here, I got him through J School. He didn't do 1 ounce of journalism when he graduated. He went into sales, retired at age 55, and now travels the world to exotic places. I think he made a good choice. I'm trying to follow his footsteps now, you know, after 50 years of broadcasting. And so far, my most exotic place that we have traveled to since I retired is Branson, Missouri. We're branching out. Okay, we've got, let's see. We have a guy who actually raced dragsters, like the Needle Nose. He's here tonight. We've got 2 Irishmen, not one. One is bad enough. We have 2 at the same table over here, and their wives too. We have a couple of SOBs. I know it sounds bad. South Omaha boys. They're over here. We've got a guy who is known for his all-nighters. Sounds bad, doesn't it? He's a pharmacist at the Med Center, so it made sense. And we have a guy that, well, he plays golf, and whenever I lose to him, I have paid the piper. It's happened too many times. His last name is Piper. Are you all following me? How about this Channel 7 table?
Slow down a little bit, John.
I know I'm going too fast. I'm not done. We have 3 producers that I've worked for. And if you have producers that show up when you're the anchor, that says something. Usually, we don't do what they would like us to do. But here they are. One of them said, I will come, but I'm going to be watching college baseball on my phone. We have 2 photographers that I've worked with, and both of them were at Channel 7. Bob and Andrew. Andrew's being recognized tonight, but these 2 guys, we covered a lot of Nebraska football games, and it's a lot of hustle and deadlines to get it done, high school football games. And guys, you don't have to tell them what to do, they just know, and they see it and they get it. So really appreciate them, and it's good to catch up with them and see them. Also, a guy named Rossi, is his nickname. We always called him Rossi. And just to give you an example of how hard Rossi worked, the Nebraska won the National Football Championship in the 90s. Remember that first championship? And Channel 6 was on live with the post game. Dave Weber was on the microphone on the field interviewing players. In the background, you could almost see it, but Ross, 100 yards away, coming out of the locker room, escorting a player to Dave to interview. Ross hustles back, gets another player out of the locker room, all the way to Dave throughout the night. It was priceless coverage. What hustle.
Thank you, my friend.
Rossi.
Thank you.
Good job. You think I'm done, but I'm not. So, Rossi and I worked together at Channel 7. When I first came to Channel 7 from out of town, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to this side over here. I'll never forget what Michael Scott said to me. It really had an impact. I was there with my 280Z unloading my stuff to take up to the newsroom, and he said, hey man, you can't park here. I'll never forget, it was so meaningful. We have a meteorologist here, a chief meteorologist, who is known for her offensive driving. We're always told to be defensive in our driving. Not Emily. We always left work down Dodge Street. I would be at the light, she'd zoom up and take off. She never timed the lights right. I would get to the next light, like the turtle, and there was sitting waiting for me. Emily, the police know about you. We have, let's see, what else? Well, 3 of our co-anchors are here tonight. I've worked with a lot of co-anchors, I don't know if you knew, but Mallory is here. Now, she is my clock up here. When I know when I'm going too long because I will look over there and her eyes will be distant. I would tell her what I thought was a great story. 15 seconds later, she's just, it has not changed. Okay, Lauren Taylor is over here. And Lauren, I didn't really find this out until later, but we would be at the anchor desk and she would have her camera pointed at me. And this was off camera during commercials, and she'd be asking me questions, and so I'd answer. Every one of those went to Instagram. I did not know until I retired.
It's going tonight too.
Making one right now. And then Aaron Sullivan. Aaron Sullivan is the current co-anchor at 10 o'clock and was my co-anchor. And people say that I drove those co-anchors away. They all left, quit.
Now wait.
I told you, you can't talk. My version of this, they left me. But love them all, and gosh, great to work with, great people. So, no more compliments for you all. So, this is how we got to where we are tonight. You know, it was 50 years of broadcasting. You're kind of out there, so people kind of are aware of you. What you probably don't know is I was in position and on my way to a career in the NFL football. No, it's true. Sidney, Nebraska is where I grew up. I qualified for the pass, punt, and kick contest in the 3rd grade. You had to be 9 years old to qualify. I was 9. I finished 3rd in the punt, pass, and kick contest. Thank you. The NFL career ended that day. So I tried something else when I went to junior high. Remember how junior high was? It's called middle school now. You young people, I'm sorry for you when you get there. But I decided to go out for wrestling. And being the athlete that I was, I can handle this. It all came down to the big night when the whole town of Sydney would come out to the auditorium and watch the young guys wrestle. I get on the mat. There was one guy my weight. He was my best friend, Chuck Waite. So you get on the mat and you're circling, trying to hypnotize the other guy. Go around. All of a sudden, Chuck decided to try the move. He went low to grab my legs. In Sydney, we didn't have the fancy leotards, that wrestlers wear. We had our PE uniforms, which did not fit well anyway in junior high. Next thing I know, I'm looking down, and my shorts are down to my ankles. And I'm in my underwear in front of the whole town of Sydney. I had an instinct, my hands went straight down to pull up my shorts. Chuck didn't stop, my best friend. I was 1, 2, 3, hint. That was the end of my athletic career. I decided to become a sportscaster and make fun of the people these things happen to. How well did that work? Well, sort of. This happened to me, and some of the things you wouldn't know. I decided as a sportscaster, I put on a slam dunk contest for under 6-footers. We had a gym where we could lower the rim. Everything was going great. Big turnout. Guys were flashing and dunking and everything. And I got home. It was a great success. And Sue said, did you look like that at the slam dunk contest? I said, yeah. Well, what I didn't know is back then you could have those mason jars and drink Kool-Aid out of it. I had drunk some Kool-Aid before the event. And she said, there's a stain right here on your lip. And so it was a great success. A little bit humbling, but that's the way that went. And then when I was early in Channel 6, I decided on a lark, went on vacation, came back after a week, and I had a mustache. I went on the air that night. My news director, Steve Murphy, he's on the Black Hall of Fame, great guy. He didn't say anything to me. He watched the broadcast, and the next day had a note on my desk. Just in my family alone, John, the vote is 4-1, the mustache goes. That was my chance. They said I looked like Pepe Le Pew or Zorro. So it's been a bit humbling along the way. And then there's this famous thing that you may have seen, I don't know. It's on YouTube all over. It had to do with Crystal Pepsi. And I'm standing at the storyboard. My co-anchor Mallory is on my left. And the story was about things that are out of date coming back into style. In this case, it was Crystal Pepsi. So I had the next line, looked at the camera and said, and what can you do without crystal meth? Mallory kind of under her breath says, Pepsi. Did I say what I think I said? So you know where that went to? From that broadcast to The Tonight Show. And I think on another late night show. And so it's out there if you want to look it up. What a career it's been. So happy. But I've made one good decision since I retired. And actually, Sue doesn't even know this yet, but I have made a killing in the stock market. I shorted a stock and nobody saw it coming. The stock is Aquanaut Extra Hold. Aquanet Extra Hold. Hairspray. I retired, it bottomed out. There we go. But been truly blessed by the career that I've had in and the people that I've worked with, and it's just, it's been a blessing. I had a great decision when I was about just a couple of years older than Asher, because I was out of college, I was making progress, and success, and I'm thinking, I'm just empty inside, there's something that just isn't there. And I knew what it was, and I think God was calling me to a relationship with Him in a much deeper way than I had. And so I was alone on a Christmas Eve and just got down on my knees and I said, Jesus, I give you my life. You take it now and use it the way you want to use it. And so that's been the purpose all of this time, and I'm very thankful for it. It's the best decision I've ever made. And I'm happy for it. I love this honor, and it reminds me of a scripture that says, when you finally get there and see Him face to face, that He will say, well done, good and faithful servant. And my hope is that it's going to be, well done, good and faithful servant, nicely done.